Welcome to Module 7.15, Research Ethics Beyond Compliance. In this session, we'll explore how research ethics extends far beyond formal review processes to become an ongoing practice integrated throughout the research lifecycle. While institutional compliance mechanisms like IRBs provide important oversight, truly ethical research requires continuous reflection and engagement with complex moral questions. We'll examine how ethics permeates every phase of research, explore ethical frameworks beyond traditional principles, and discuss approaches for developing greater ethical sensitivity. Understanding these dimensions helps researchers move from checklist compliance to a deeper, more responsive ethical practice. Ethical research practice extends well beyond IRB approval or similar formal reviews, which typically focus on specific aspects of participant protection at a single point in time. Ongoing ethical reflection involves continuously considering the moral dimensions of research decisions, from question formulation through dissemination and beyond. Emergent ethical issues often arise during research that weren't anticipated during planning, requiring researchers to respond thoughtfully to new moral challenges. Treating ethics as a process rather than an event means incorporating ethical considerations into regular research meetings, mentoring conversations, and decision points throughout projects. Creating an ethical research culture involves establishing norms, practices, and communication patterns that prioritize integrity and respect in all aspects of research work. Together, these approaches shift ethics from a compliance exercise to a fundamental dimension of research practice that shapes every aspect of how knowledge is produced. Traditional research ethics emphasizes principles like autonomy, beneficence, and justice, but other ethical frameworks offer valuable complementary perspectives. Virtue ethics in research focuses on developing researcher character traits like honesty, humility, and perseverance, rather than just following rules. Feminist ethics of care emphasizes relationships, contexts, and responsibilities to others, particularly attending to power dynamics in research relationships. Communitarian approaches prioritize collective well-being and community values over individual autonomy as the primary ethical consideration. Global ethics perspectives incorporate diverse cultural understandings of moral obligations, challenging the universality of Western ethical frameworks. Indigenous research ethics centers principles like reciprocity, respect for knowledge systems, and self-determination that have often been violated in conventional research. These complementary frameworks expand ethical imagination beyond principlist approaches, helping researchers navigate complex moral terrain with greater sensitivity to context and relationships. Ethical sensitivity, the ability to recognize and respond to moral dimensions of research, can be actively developed. Recognizing ethical issues involves learning to identify when research decisions have moral implications, not just technical ones. Moral imagination cultivation means developing the capacity to envision potential consequences of research choices for various stakeholders. Perspective-taking practices involve deliberately considering how research appears from multiple viewpoints, particularly from those who may be vulnerable or affected by outcomes. Ethics consultation resources include formal mechanisms, like ethics committees, but also informal networks of colleagues with whom researchers can discuss emerging dilemmas. Continuous ethical learning involves ongoing engagement with ethics literature, case studies, and dialogues about evolving standards in research communities. These developmental approaches recognize that ethical sensitivity isn't innate, but a skill that researchers can cultivate throughout their careers. enabling more thoughtful navigation of complex moral terrain in research practice.